You said you couldn't sleep for a year and a half or something, and that you cried for a lot of that time.
I'm taking a day at a time, still to this day.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I just take it a day at a time. You know, black men have feelings. You know, black men hurt.
Tia's returning to reality TV.
I know. I didn't know until I found out with the rest of the world.
Any chance we'll see you on there?
She didn't ask me. So I take that as no.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I am back again with another video. Now, guys, recently Mowry decided to release a like an extra long trailer on Entertainment Tonight of her TV show that she's coming out with, and it got the internet talking. Okay, it got the internet talking about all kinds of stuff, and so we're gonna go ahead and get into it. There's a couple of snippets in particular that I'm gonna pause and play and give you guys my thoughts, my feelings, my opinions on this whole entire situation.
Hardest things that I've had to adapt to is dropping my kids off at their dad's house. I've always wanted the family dynamic of having a mom and a dad in one household. And when you're dropping your kids off, you actually visually see how that is no longer.
So the first part of this clip is when Tia is actually crying because of the fact that she is saying that, you know, she always wanted the entire family dynamic where her children would grow up in a two-parent household, and you know, the realization that when she drops her children off to their father's house, that, you know, that is obviously something that is no longer her reality. Now, I'm just gonna go ahead and give my opinion, and I'm gonna state the obvious. It's strange when the person who is in the epicenter of the reason in which her children no longer live in a two-parent household is emotional or is crying about the situation as if life happened to her. Okay, I just got to be honest with you guys. It's a little off-putting to a lot of people, not just me alone, okay? If you look on the internet, a lot of people had a lot to say about this. But it's almost as if you were acting as though you were put in this situation and that you were not the decision maker. Let's remind everybody that, you know, Tia is the one who said that she, you know, graduated from her marriage. She did not want to be in this situation that no longer served her, you know, and that it was a graduation.
Marriage was a success. Yeah. I look at it as like a curriculum. And at the end of that curriculum, and at the end, there's a graduation. Now,
in terms of that entire graduation, you know, that was a situation that if it no longer served you, you know, it was not thinking of the entire family situation. This was solely thinking about you, how you feel, what you think, what you want to do, you know, the place that you're at, you know, your own, whatever it is that's going on. We've heard Corey and Tia both talk about the fact that, well, not Tia, but we've heard Corey speak about the fact that, you know, he was never unfaithful within their marriage. He never cheated.
Never cheated, period. So there you go. You wanted your answer, so there you go.
This was a decision that, you know, she just decided one day. She said self-love is the best love, and she wanted to go back out there. This was her only like long-standing relationship that she's basically ever had, and she wanted to experience different and changed her family dynamic to be able to suit her feelings or her emotions at the time.
And what do they say? Stella got a groove back? It's like Tia got a groove back.
And I'm not going to say that just because it was somebody's decision. Obviously, I'm a logical thinker. I'm not going to say that just because it was somebody's decision that they're not going to have their own personal feelings about the situation, being that they're the ones who even decided to step away or end the relationship. Of course, everybody has feelings, but it seems very contradictory to be the one who is crying or overly emotional about the state in which your children are no longer living in a certain dynamic when you are the one who made that decision. We heard Corey, the crying that you're doing now, we heard Corey say that he was doing that crying when you decided to end the relationship.
I was a year and a half crying myself to sleep every night. You know, nobody see that.
Yeah.
Nobody see that.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, you live 5 minutes away from your babies, you know what I'm saying? Because people who know Corey Harder know that his kids and his family was everything to him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm stronger than I thought I was.
And I want to say this, right? This is not a, jump on Tia train. This is not even a train of like, oh, I don't like her, I can't stand her. This is not that. The reason in which I had these conversations is because there's so many women out there who maybe go through hardships in their relationships, who maybe have certain feelings that come up based off of where they are in their hormonal phase during the month. Or maybe even in their life, there might be certain, outward dynamics that can change the epitome of the relationship for a time period. And I think that it is important to expose certain behaviors because a lot of women look up or look at other couples, especially other couples who, have their celebrity, and they are making or choosing to make certain decisions based off of what they see their peers, other women in their age bracket, they're making decisions based off of what those women are making. And it's important to expose and bring to the surface a lot of these situations so that a lot of women can look into themselves and realize that every time that these women are making these decisions, these decisions to end their marriages, to break up their families, to do whatever the case is, it does not lead to happiness.
Marriage was a success. Yeah.
Right? As much as people like to make it seem like every single time that happens, that there's always, that they're always happy with the decisions that they've made, that is not always the case. And I think that in real time, regardless of what's being said, this is something that we're seeing from Tia constantly. It's like she's constantly emotional about the situation. She's constantly complaining about the state that she's in right now. And again, I want it to be a reminder to a lot of women, don't let your emotions or your ego lie to you and trick you up out your spot. That's just keeping it 100% real with you, because a lot of times you will make decisions based off of emotion. And when this smoke clears, you realize that you made a drastic, life-changing decision for temporary feelings or temporary emotions. There was also a clip that I saw that talked about Tia and Tamera's relationship. I'm going to go ahead and play that for you guys, and then we're going to go ahead and dive into that as well.
Alone has been the most challenging part of my divorce. It's times like this when I feel and wish that my sister and I were still close and I could, pick up the phone and call her. But that's just not where we are right now.
Can I be honest about this Tia Tamera situation? Okay, and this is my opinion, y'all. Don't be mad at me because this is my opinion. This is my opinion. You guys are more than welcome to leave your opinions, your thoughts, your comments in the comment section down below. But in my personal opinion, I feel like when that reality show came out with Tia and Tamera, it's something that I've showed snippets of before in talking about the relationship, not even knowing that she was going to come out and actually speak about the distance between the two of them. But I've always felt like in the past that because Mowry decided to marry a black man and Tamera decided to marry a white man, that Tia kind of had this superiority complex. Like, oh yeah, I'm the one that's down. I'm the one that made this decision. I'm the one that's more real. I'm the one who identifies as this, and kind of made it seem as though she was the better option.
I consider myself almost like the black sheep of the family. Like I push the envelope. I have a very broad perspective, where I think my sister finds comfort in tradition.
She had a little bit more work at a certain period of time than Tamera did.
Do you feel jealous at all?
And it was even, it even went as deep as when Tamera's wedding was going on. Tia came onto the show and they were talking, and Tia was basically saying to Tamera during Tamera's wedding how she felt like she was not the, getting as much attention from Tamera as she thought she would have. Mind you, again, this is Tamera's wedding.
During your wedding, I felt left out. I felt that it was extremely difficult to communicate with you.
I don't see her for most of my wedding weekend, and now she's telling me I did something wrong.
I think that there's truth that, sometimes when you look at the people who are closest to you, right? In this case, it would have been her husband and her sister. And, you know, as we see on Tamera's Instagram and everything that Tamera exudes, you know, obviously they are vastly different. That yes, they are identical twins and all that, but they are, you know, vastly different personalities, as we can see.
Listen. Been a nasty girl, nasty. I've been a nasty girl, nasty. I've been a nasty girl, nasty.
But Tamera is very much more traditional, right? She sticks to tradition. She you know, the family is the center. You know, it's very much like, I'm a mom, I'm a wife. Like, that is her lifestyle. And being that Tia is no longer within that same kind of realm, it's going to cause distance naturally. But I'll never forget, just like the clip I showed, when Tamera was blatantly calling Tia selfish, right? And she said it over and over again, and she was like, this is not something that's strange to everyone. Like, everybody knows that you're selfish.
Wait, I know you as being selfish all the time, so that's not how I know you as being selfish. That's your assumption. That's not my intention. Yeah, that's not my assumption. That's your action.
And I think that sometimes that can be a hard pill to swallow, but are your actions aligning with the way in which people are, you know, calling you, or the things that people are saying about you, right? And when we see the way that she, again, decided to end her marriage, break up her family unit because it no longer served her and because it was a graduation and she was over it.
I knew when I really started to focus on my happiness. I feel like women, we tend to focus on everybody else's happiness, making sure that everybody else is okay. But at the end of the day, it's about self-love.
You know, her solely by herself, Corey Hardrick let it be known that he did not want to end his marriage. He did not want to be without his children.
I'm taking a day at a time, still to this day.
Because people who know Corey Hardrick know that his kids and his family was everything to him.
You know, that is a selfish move. When you are now in the space that you're in and, you know, your sister was calling you selfish based off of the things that you're doing, maybe you have to take into account that in this growth phase that you're in, that maybe there's some things that you definitely have to look into yourself and see, like, is there truth to these things? Do I coddle myself and do I X out everybody else's feelings? Do I only consider the way that I feel or the way that something's going to affect me, and I'm not considering the other people around the situation who are also going to be involved? I think that that is something that's very key for not just, you know, in this situation, but in general. I think that a lot of times women tend to coddle themselves because women are always coddled. Right? And people are going to say, oh, well, you talking about women like you're not a woman. I'm a woman, so I know that women are always coddled. I'm very well aware of that. But I think that at some point, you know, we have to be able to look into ourselves to find the greatest growth. The greatest growth. And again, this is not a, you know, everybody, you know, dog pile on this situation, but it's just the reality of it. It's the reality of, you know, what we are watching unfold and how contradictory it is to, you know, I'm so happy, I'm so free, I'm so this, I'm so that. And then again, you know, the person that would be the closest to you, who might even be the only person who is able to hold you accountable, you are not close to. So does that mean that you might be surrounded by yes men?
I feel like she doesn't want any of our input right now. And I can only respect that.
You might be surrounded by people who are fanning your flame. You might be surrounded by people who are not going to tell you 100% the truth about situations. And so you're just making certain decisions because nobody around you is able to shine that mirror up against you and show you you. Is that the truth? I also think it's important that other women understand the ability for people to be able to hold you accountable. Because it's not about the other people. It's about you. It's about you reaching your greater good. And who is the most person that can hold you accountable? And, you know, what relationship is the relationship in itself that's going to be able to reveal you to you? Nothing more than a marriage. When you are in a marriage or in a long-term relationship with somebody, that is when you get to know you for who you truly are. The childhood trauma comes out. The problems come up. The neglect from your youth comes, like all those things come to the surface. And then you have the opportunity to grow based off of the things that are revealed to you, or again, run, flee from the problem and coddle yourself even more. It's always a choice.
Beginning of my divorce, I became obsessed. That's a little intense. I became fixated on what people thought, what people were saying, what people were thinking. And if I'm being very honest with you, it made me mentally ill.
Another thing is that when, Tia talked about the fact that in the beginning of her divorce, she became obsessed with the headlines. She became obsessed with the conversations surrounding her divorce. She came, basically every second she's checking the internet to see what's going on and what people are saying. And I think that in that same facet, I think it also reveals the fact that she genuinely does care what a lot of people around her think or believe or feel. Hence why I personally believe is one of the reasons why she would not even consider rekindling her marriage or her relationship with her husband. It's because of what other people will think. Anytime that people are super hyper fixated on what other people have to say about their situation when they know what's going on, it means that they, in my personal opinion, now I'm not saying if somebody's just getting complete slander out of nowhere and people are just going after them and going in on them and creating think pieces that people aren't going to have their own feelings. Of course they are. We're all human beings. But I think that when you are the person who is, creating the situation, right? You're the one who came out, made a post on Instagram and explained that you are getting a divorce, right? You are in the public eye and you put that out there. And then you left absolutely no context to that situation. People are going to create, ideas, narratives, their thoughts behind the situation. And if you're not going to say anything about it, but then you're hyper fixated on what people are saying, it's contradictory, because, and again, it just shows that you are allowing other people's thoughts and other people's feelings to dictate what you have going on in your own life. You see, people who really know what's up and don't care. They genuinely don't care. You will see them on Instagram happy, kiki and haha, and literally ignoring everything because they know the real. But when you are so influenced by other people's opinions, and again, it would lead me to believe that that's why you got on Instagram and started showing out, because of other people's opinions. The reason why you started making all these posts on social media talking about you and your whole face and stuff like that is because of other people's opinions.
I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm in my hoe phase right now. Happiness over everything. Where's your mind?
A lot of the things that you are doing might not be based off of how you feel and what you think, but you might be actually trying to appease the masses. And whether it's relationships, whether it's your career, whether it's whatever it is, when you are trying to appease everybody else without being true to who you truly are, I think you're doing yourself the greatest disservice. That's my opinion. Right? Now, am I saying that 100% that maybe that might be the reason why she ended her marriage is because of other people's opinions? I can't say that 100% sure, but I think that might have a lot to do with it. Okay? Maybe seeing other people being free, other people doing this, other people doing that. Maybe looking back on your past and seeing that this is your longest standing relationship, and maybe there might be greener grass out there and there might be other people out there. That's just the truth of the matter. Sometimes a lot of women, they act like, they got it all together. They're so confident and they're the leader of the pack and they're not influenced by anybody. But that's not the truth. A lot of women are very much influenced by their peers or other people around them or people surrounding them. And sometimes, again, not to their best benefit. So guys, like I said, this is like an extended trailer of the TV show, giving some insight ahead of the TV show's release. I found it very interesting. A lot of people are going in on that Tia and Tamera thing. A lot of people have very strong feelings about it. I'd like to know what you guys think about it in the comment section down below. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on this video. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you guys in the next one. Love you.